Oh, Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
This is, I'm too close.
Yeah, you are.
This is episode number 103.
Wow.
Of SlapperCast.
I knew it.
Well into our second year. You knew what?
I knew it.
Is it this weekend or next weekend? My 1 year anniversary with the band. I think it's next week.
I think it's next week.
Oh,
this week.
Yeah, good point.
No, I think it's 104.
What?
Because we didn't get a cake.
I think we're past it already. Wasn't this the second week of January?
My first actual gig, I think, was...
it was T-Bones.
Was T-Bones, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was like the 14th or something, but I could be wrong.
I'll look at my calendar.
I could look it up.
This thing.
Did you hear
it? Was later than that. Did I hear
T-Bones has gone all vegetarian.
What?
Well, it's about time.
As of this week.
It's about time.
Do we have any questions that we wanted to address, or are we going to jump straight into show and tell with Mr. Hughes?
Yeah. No. Well,
What's so exciting, Patrick?
God, what isn't?
What exactly?
What isn't exciting? This is where we're well into January now. We're stuck into the new year. The New Year's resolutions have come and gone. And did you guys have any luck with yours?
I just started exercising on Monday, so we're 5 days in, and that's
something.
Yeah,
5 days of exercise.
Yeah. When we said before we turned the cameras on, Eric, you look great. That's what we said. Chad?
I did start logging meals again this week, so I don't know if I lost any weight, but I feel a whole hell of a lot better from not overeating,
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions mean a lot more if they don't start exactly on January 1st. You wait a couple weeks, you ease into it.
I like July.
July's a good time to ease into it,
Yeah.
Anytime's a good time to ease into anything.
Yeah.
Wink.
I felt like, for me, because I just psychologically just was not even interested in trying to watch my weight for most of this past, since the pandemic started, I guess. But I think as we've gotten closer to the inauguration and everything, all this stuff is in the past. I'm just kind of decompressing now. And it wasn't even really a conscious decision. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this now. It was just all of a sudden it seemed like something I was interested in doing again. And it has, not saying it's easy, but at least I want to do it. It was before I just I don't care.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do y'all feel that at all?
I felt like that on Tuesday. Wednesday.
No, I make myself feel how I want to feel. I really do. I don't, the weather doesn't affect me. The politics don't affect me. I just, I keep it, because Jesus and I are like this. So it's, there's not really much that can, so, yeah. So, but I really do. I didn't change anything for the new year. I started last year doing morning writings, be it lyric ideas or just flow of conscious kind of crap, and it's helped tremendously in my music, in my writing, and it just foresight, backside, side sight, upside down.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's so I'm kind of keeping on that, and I really do. I rely on myself for mood. When I start going dark, if I want to be there, I'll enjoy it. If I want to, break out of it, I do. I go for a run or go read or do. So nice. Yeah, it's been. I wouldn't call it a New Year's resolution. I'll just call it a New
Year's continuation.
Just a self betterment.
I had made a list of goals of things to work on, stuff like that, kind of a thing. For the kind of like weekly, monthly, and yearly, and I took a drum lesson on Monday.
You said you were going to do it
with Dave Elich, and that was a lot of fun.
Who's Dave?
Dave Elich is a drummer. He's been around for a little while. He's played with a group called the Mars Volta. He's played with the 1970s 9 or something like that. A couple other bands. He's actually got called to play. Do a Miley Cyrus tour, and he said he really enjoyed that, and he's done all kinds of stuff. But he's really well known in the drumming world for his education, and not necessarily even about drumming. It's all about physical, like how you sit, how you approach the drums, how your arms move, how your legs move.
Yeah.
And so we spent an hour and a half talking about how I sit on the throne.
Interesting.
Wow.
And it was fucking awesome. Mind altering, just like
good,
and the things that now I can do that I maybe struggled with physically before. Now it just seems like it's so much easier.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a lot of work, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Mars Volta, but is that the math? It's kind of
some it's heavy rock, and it's also there's a lot of time changes in it, so it's a lot of stuff going on.
That's what I'd heard, and again, I really appreciate that stuff. As something to listen to, it's not really a thing that I like to.
It's definitely not to dismiss it or make fun of it. It is a difficult listening experience. You have to kind of be. It's not just you put it on the background and you do housework. It's like if it's something you want to listen to, you want to pay attention to it because there's some really interesting stuff going on there. It's a great video, and I meant to send this link to you, but we can maybe do it this week because we're talking about him now again.
Yeah.
Of him playing with the Mars Volta and just the sheer physical presence that Dave has on the drum set is remarkable. And to imagine him playing 80 or 90 minute set at that level of intensity is, you can't do that if you're not sitting right on the drum tone. You can't do that right if your arms and legs are not in the right spot. And he even says, he's like, we play the drum set. We've been playing drum set for 100 years now. He's like, but it's the most unorthodox way to do anything because you sit down, but you have to move your legs, which is counterintuitive. You want to move your legs, you stand up and you walk around, like you guys do. But you have to sit down and work the pedals and where your arms are and where your back is and your head's in alignment. So, and a lot of things that I was doing, I know that I was doing wrong. But then when he kind of put me, and he's on the Zoom call, we're on a Zoom call, and he's like watching me. He's like, okay, do this, move this. He's like, that looks really great. I can feel that, because he's kind of one of those guys. He's an empathetic. He's into Alexander technique, which is how you hold your body and how you stand and sit.
Do you do yoga or anything like that? Is that a thing?
I have done some yoga. He does yoga. He does this thing called Alexander technique, which is actually he goes to somebody and they help him figure out the best way to sit down, the best way to stand up, the best way to lay down.
Yeah.
I bought a book on that, so it should be showing up. Anyway, so took a lesson on that. So now my drum stool is like, for me, it seems like it's really high. So now all the drums are coming up a little bit more.
Good.
Because instead of being kind of like half posture, I'm now sitting up straighter.
Is that what you said? It's like to do?
Yeah, it's like your shoulders are down, your chin is back a little bit, your spine is when you sit down, you're putting all your energy into your sit bones, and your legs should be loose and feel loose. And once I kind of got it, it's like, I got to retrain my body to do that when I sit down now. When I sit down, you got to like take a few minutes to kind of get like in position and make sure things are where they're supposed to be. Like my hands now, my elbow's more up like this, so the stick is kind of straight through the hand to the elbow, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really fascinating. And I knew that that's what it was going to be. I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And it's like I don't need to learn another drum pattern. I can figure that out on my own. I don't need to learn another lick. I mean, at this point in my life, I told David, I said, there's two things I want to make sure I can do. One is to make sure that physically I can keep doing this for as long as I can, which is when he comes into play with the posture. And so you're not hurting yourself. You're not compressing discs on your back. You're not fucking up your legs or whatever, your hands. And I said, I want to work on double pedal stuff. And he's like, why do you want to do that? I go, well, I'm in this band called Blaggards, and some of their songs would liken some double pedal in it. And he's like, okay. He's like, we're not going to talk about, exercises like reading exercises for double pedal. He's like, but once you get through this thing, you should be able to adapt a little bit more because you're not leaning on a side.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, you're centered now on your sit bones, so your legs are free to do what they want. And like the next day, so that was Monday. Tuesday, I sat down the drums for a second. And I said, I'm gonna try some double bass stuff just for shits and giggles. And it was just like chugga 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 chugga, which it hasn't ever been like that before because it's been like worried about where my weight was focused, and now it seems like I'm leaning a little bit to this side because that's my hi-hat foot, and it was just kind of like and this is just like fucking train rolling down the tracks. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be fun. So
that's great. Yeah, and it all that makes sense. My whole right side is fucked. My shoulder, my hip is from driving. My shoulder's from guitar. So sitting and playing guitar, and you got your shoulder up like this, and then you're using all these muscles, and I'm usually picking pretty fast.
Right.
Moving so my shoulder's fucked, my hip is fucked from the gas pedal. And so the whole right side is just a fucking mess.
Always or just lately? Just in general?
Yeah, I mean, for the last few years since we put so many miles on the van, that I realized how badly I stand and I sit and I play and when I sat behind the wheel for so many thousands of miles and refused to give it up. To give up the wheel. So you end up and you come, you get out of the gas station and you can't fucking move. It's like somebody shot you in the hip.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, there's no pain. But I swear, 5 minutes previous, I couldn't put weight on it. I couldn't move it. I couldn't, they could just stand there like, and they go, I guess I look like a prisoner that had just escaped or something. Every time we get out for petrol, it was, what are they doing to him in there?
Yeah.
But that's really,
It's,
that's so, it's so incredible that I know exactly what you're talking about when, as you said it, but I didn't realize it. So I'm saying it's coming clear, and I've known this stuff the whole time, but now you just kind of just opened that. That's amazing.
And the one thing we talked about too, and he actually he had done an online like masterclass, for lack of a better term. And it was me and my buddy Nick from Pennsylvania and a couple of friends from Austin, and then like 45 other people from all over the world that were watching this thing. And basically he was like, "What questions do you have?" And none of it was about drumming. A lot of it was. It was all about physically how you sit, how you move, or whatever. And one thing that we talked about was, and I do this a lot, I stick my chin out. And I think, and I'm like, why do we, he's like, everyone does that. I go, why do we do that? He's like, he called it end gaining, so to describe it, it's like our world is so full of stimulation, whether it's nature, whether it's the small screen, that screen, or whatever. And so we just involuntarily, we crane towards it. We look towards it. And what that does, and your neck is supposed to be in line with your spine. It's supposed to be a straight line from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. And so what we end up doing is that's not straight. And even when I watch TV at night, I find myself like laying on the couch and going like this.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Yeah.
And then this whole week I was like, no, pull it back. Pull it back. You don't want to be like this. But you want to be, shoulders down and your head in line. So that was just the tip of the iceberg. And probably in another month or two, I'll get with him again. But my goal now is just to focus on not even necessarily playing so much as how I'm sitting.
Posture, yeah.
And that's why I was talking about the rock and stock, because he's like, I said, I know you're going to yell at me, but I said, I have a pork pie percussion throne. He's like, no, he's like, get rid of it, throw it out. It's a piece of shit. I said, I know. I said, I have a rock and sock in the truck, and I have one at my buddy's studio. So I'm going to swap out the stools with Paul, because you want a harder surface to sit on than mine's kind of the pork pie is kind of cushy.
Yeah.
He's like, you want something harder. So he actually had me pull out a practice pad and sit on that. And it made all the sense in the world.
Is the pork pie one, is it kind of like a diner seat or something like at the
the pink one or the thick one.
Counter. Yeah.
It's pretty.
Okay. Yeah.
I told him, I go, hey, if it's any consolation, it's pink sparkle. And he laughed. He laughed about that. He's like, no, get rid of that one. So,
no.
So I have one like that.
Yeah.
That's in that I just gave to Paul because I just had it kicking around. I'm like, here, you can probably use this in the studio. So I texted him and said, hey, I'm going to switch out these two thrones. He's like, whatever you want. So I did that, and I said I wanted to get more students, and actually a friend of Blaggards, who used to watch you guys in College Station when he was going to school there for to be a veterinarian. He and his wife used to come out and see you guys all the time. He's an avid listener of the podcast. Mark Stickney.
Mark.
Was it Mark Stickney? Right? I think so. Mr. Stickney. Anyway, he's like, hey, my daughter wants drum lessons. So we had our first lesson on Tuesday. And it was great because, she's in her garage and she's up there wailing on stuff. And she's like, oh, the beater, this thing keeps coming off. And she pulls the beater up. I go, oh, that's cool. I can talk you through it, how to put it back on. And we look at the drum set, and it's completely backwards. Like the legs are facing her. I'm like, we got to turn this whole thing around. So I had to kind of give them a tutorial on how to set it up. And the toms are like way up here and stuff like that. Nico. That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll get it. We'll get there. So that was this week.
She's got the motions anyway. She got the stretches ready. So
there you go.
You were halfway.
Yeah.
So tell me this. I've noticed you're talking about posture with drummers. I noticed. I'm thinking back to drummers I've watched. I've noticed a lot of them, like everybody from Phil Collins to like Terry Bozzio, kind of doing this. They're like kind of leaning forward and their necks back like that.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah. I mean,
what is it with that? Why do so many guys
think about what
that
does for your back?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a genius about it because I took one lesson with Dave Elitch. But I knew from even years ago, like, hey, telling myself when I'm playing, sit up straight.
Yeah.
Sit up straight. Because I would lean over too.
I've seen it.
Kind of get into it, and it's just like, sit up straight. So what's happening is if your stool is too low, the seat, the throne, may I push in your stool?
Is it Phil Collins' back? Is that what's
it's all fucked up?
It's his back, right?
Yeah. Because of that.
And his choice of pop music, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. And like the guy from Meshuggah, he told me that Thomas Haka had the same thing. He had a really low stool, and Thomas Haka's a big guy, and he was kind of hunkering over, and he said the bottom three vertebrae just blew out. I mean, just from pressure, because when you lean forward, you're putting pressure on your spine rather than on your ass. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So who are some famous drummers who you think have good posture?
I know Dave Lombardo's got horrible posture. He looks like he's leaning into the.
A lot of those guys don't have great.
Yeah, he doesn't have great posture. I think Nico sits really well. Nico McBrain sits really well. Again, just from
he sits low, but I think he sits up straight.
He sits up straight. But he has so much real estate to cover.
Right.
I mean, he has to be. If he was leaning over, I mean, there's no way he's getting that back China boy, or he's getting that. He's getting those,
or even those little toms.
The toms. On this side, you're not getting that. Toms. Even swiveling, and you're not getting those if you're hunched over. So he's got to be limited. Again, I don't know about his posture, but because I think about it because when I stand and play guitar, when I used to have a effects rack on the floor, I'd have all my weight on my right foot, but I was using my right foot to hit the pedals, to change the tones and to get different sounds, whatever. But I always I always realized at the end of the show, 4 or 5 hours standing around on the stage with a guitar hanging off. The weights, the weights on my left shoulder, but the strap is, weighing here, but the weight of the guitar is all here on my right side, and I'm leaning on my right leg, and I'm strumming with, so my right side is fucked.
Yeah.
And at the end of the show, you just realize that you just kind of been just beaten on this side, just ready to go. And so I've noticed, and I've really tried to correct that. Correct it on the fly, and it's not fun. It's not fun remembering that.
Technically, we all should have been doing this probably 10 or 15 years ago, but now if we can adjust what we, how we stand or how we sit, or without changing necessarily how we play, that could be beneficial. And I always sort of made fun of those bands that put like the fancy carpets on the stage. But now I get it, because it's not, so you're not standing on wood or concrete for hours, 90 minutes hours at a time.
But think of the setup, the sound check, the walking to and from, and that's a lot of time on your feet, and you're always carrying gear. You always got something. You're always, and we always make fun of the drummer for sitting down during the gig, but you're not sedentary for a second. Even in the slow songs, you're moving the whole time. There's just a ton of, it's physical. I mean, I still wouldn't change it. Sounds like we're bitching. Wouldn't change a damn thing.
No, of course not.
I mean, I'm trying to, but I'll tell you something else. I learned last year when I started running, just making sure I just ran every day, no matter what. I even ran last night in the rain. But I remember years and years ago when I was a young man, I decided one time I was doing the memorial here in beautiful Houston, Texas. We have a park. It's a 3-4 mile track, with a golf course in the middle and trees and everything. It's beautiful. But that's where you go when you're single. Don't go there now. And it's the place to be seen. Blah blah blah. So but I used to go after work, bartending. So 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, go down there. Well, this one time I took weights with me, and it was only like 10-pound little hand weights. But I said I'll just run with them so I can 2-for-1 thing.
Oh Jesus!
We do 3 miles with 5 pounds.
Yeah. A lot of weight.
Do it with 1 pound. But think about what you're doing when you add that to here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that, adding weight, and even with the running, you just don't burn what you're trying. And so not only I'm not doing 3 miles with all this extra weight now, I'm doing lots of miles with these extra weight, because average is 5 miles, 4 or 5 miles a day. But when you put that weight on and you carry that with you, especially here, now you're fucking your back up. Now your neck is, so on top of all the shit that we're doing. So you really have to push yourself now to lose that weight, and to, I don't eat till after noon, 1 o'clock if I can help it. And I don't eat after 6. So
I got a short window.
Yeah.
Time to eat.
Yeah.
Why are we doing fucking talking? Let's go eat something.
Yeah. I'm out of here.
Why are we talking about it?
But that's exciting about the posture and that.
I'm excited
revelation.
to jump in a little bit more and try to, like, I was teaching a lesson yesterday online, and I was trying to I look at myself on the TV and be like, oh, even just while you're sitting, just trying to, on the throne, just trying to, the drum throne, not the toilet throne. There's a whole different posture involved in that. But just trying to be focused on putting that weight on your sit bones and not on your legs.
Yeah.
And it felt weird. I mean, it just totally felt weird. And it took me a long time to kind of get into that position where things felt normal. And Dave on the other end was watching me. He's like, that looks great. That feels great. I can see what you're doing. I can already tell instantly that it's better. So, and he works with, like I said, he works with Greg Bissonette. He works with Thomas Haka. He works with the Guns N' Roses guy. He works with hundreds and hundreds of drummers that, Greg Bissonette. Right.
We were just talking about Greg Bissonette, drummer for David Lee Roth, when they did the
solo stuff. Yeah.
What a beast that guy. A great drum solo. We were talking about a few weeks ago, last week with Mark Havna. We were talking about the guy playing with Ozzy,
Randy Castillo.
God, and his drum solo. One of those guys saw the other one's drum solo.
Oh yeah,
because it was kind of, but it's just beautiful to watch. Yeah. Anybody that's going to put that stuff into that, and I really appreciate your playing, watching you play. When and we need to talk about this now, but the George Theater.
Yeah,
and I'd come over to the riser. I'd come over to you to just
hang out
and
visit.
It's just fun. Nothing's the same twice, but there's always there's that stick spin or that elbow hit on the whatever. It just something goofy just to to keep it lively for us, to keep it for But that was that's a great. That's still a high point for me. Playing after all these years, it's just it's such a simple thing, but just to make the other band members laugh, or to just to keep that
especially at stages like that where you can actually maneuver.
Yeah,
you're not bumping into shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
But Ryan, Malcolm, Michael,
Hudson was there.
Hudson, yeah.
And I didn't meet the other guy.
I didn't meet. Yeah, he
was hanging out with Malcolm the whole time.
Yeah, but we which our patron friends will have seen some of the pictures already.
Mm-hmm.
But what an afternoon! I mean, just
fun.
That was so much fun. Everybody's going to get to see some of this here pretty quick, but just the production,
yeah.
And that theater,
We're talking about a full stage crew of just completely stir crazy guys who were just dying for something productive to do, and they'd never. Yeah, absolutely, and they'd never mixed a band at that theater before, right?
They did something in October, like a Stevie Wonder thing.
Oh, okay.
With the same company that I worked with for the Karen Carpenter thing in December.
Can we talk about that? That story, how we met Michael and Malcolm?
Yeah. So I was doing, and I mentioned this in a previous show, I was doing this Karen Carpenter show at the George Theater. The AD players at the George Theater. They used to be over in Kirby and
West Alabama and Kirby, yeah.
West Alabama and Kirby by the Bed Bath and Beyond, right? Used to be over there in this little rinky dinky building. Somehow,
for years and years and years.
Somehow they got this gorgeous, beautiful 500 seat theater, and like, did you guys even go in the lobby?
No.
Oh my God! It's all windows and it's gorgeous and the sun shines. It's just amazing space. And so they were putting on this Karen Carpenter show. And we recorded in the theater. We did 2 full shows in the theater that they recorded and filmed it and did a live stream. I think I sent that to you guys.
Did
right? Yeah? No? Did you see that?
Yeah. I watched a little bit.
Okay,
of it,
so obviously Karen Carpenter, not very loud. Okay, very much a vocal show, and it was beautiful and it was fun. We did the rest of the shows outside in the parking lot on the opposite side of the building. Okay, so and then the last day of the show was December 22nd or whatever it was. And I had my drums in the storage box outside where they kept all the sound stuff, and all the sound stuff was setting up. And the Malcolm and Michael and Hudson, they were kind of like just playing pre-show music. And normally an hour before they had to start playing Christmas songs, but we were still a little bit early. So they were playing the chopped and screwed version of Careless Whispers that they played while we were setting up and all this other kind of crazy shit. And Malcolm goes, "Hey, play some Blaggards. They're one of my favorite bands." And I was just like, "What?" And because I was across the way.
And you had never met these guys before.
I met them because we were working on the show together.
Yeah, never mentioned
that I was doing whatever. And I said, "Hey, did you just say Blaggards?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, I play drums for Blaggards." He's like, "What happened to the other guy?" I go, "Well, yeah." I said, Mike had to, retire.
And the guy looks like me.
Get on some other, exactly. Get on some other things. But I've been playing with them for about a year now. He's like, "Oh, crazy." I go, "Yeah, play some Blaggards." And so they pulled it up online or whatever, and then they started playing it. And then Michael, I'm up on stage setting up, and Michael walks up. He's like, "Hey." He's like, "What are you guys doing right now?" I go, "We're not really doing much. We did a couple live sets, and we have a couple of random gigs here and there, mostly outside, socially distanced, etc." He's like, "Well," "we got this brand new sound system in the theater. We're dying to try out." And from there, it became a conversation of, "Do you guys want to come in and we'll do some lights and sound and we'll just videotape it?" And we have all these brand new cameras, brand new everything is basically brand new in that place. The theater opened, I think, a couple of years ago. But like they have like a state of the art sound and lights and video displays and cameras and stuff like that. So 3 of us got to talking about it and just said, "Yeah, let's go over there," and we did, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
it's stunning enough. The stage is stunning. The seats, the atmosphere in that place is just beautiful. And then to have these guys, so I thought, we'd go in and they just turn everything up to as far as it would go and it wasn't like that at all. It was, they treated every single moment and every single second like it just so, with the white gloves on and just with all kinds of precision. And they did backdrops to every single song we did. Mm-hmm. And Malcolm would say, "Hey, do you have anything that I want to use a blue?" And I was like, "Fucking put a blue up," But he just had a vision for every single song.
Well, Michael said that.
Excuse me. And so I'm going, all right. Well, now I know what you're. Now I know we weren't taking it as a joke. We were going in there to seriously have to put something down. But then when I realized how artistic they were and how on top of their game they are. They're not just, I mean that sincerely, and I told them 50 times, you're not dealing with people that are just throwing shit against the wall. These people are putting a piece together.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen these the footage from the day, but I'm telling you, it's so we went in there expecting, just put it on a thumb drive. No, there's so much material.
Well, even they didn't know how much it was going to be, because I guess this first time they recorded that much material on one night.
Yeah,
because we went it was 3 hours worth of stuff. I think we did
more than that.
Yeah. So, but because Michael was emailing me before and says, "You want me to bring a big hard drive?" I said, 1 terabyte? It's like, yeah, that should be good. And I mentioned Malcolm and I were talking and said, 1 terabyte? Oh yeah, that should be good. And so they come up after the show like, it turns out it's 5 terabytes. So, well, you guys just go, we'll get in touch with you later, right, to figure out what we're going to do with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even have anything big enough to put it on there with them. So,
well, I just thought it was funny when we did the email introduction, like I get you guys involved in the email stuff. And then, he was like, here's some backdrops I'm thinking of. And all of a sudden the picture started coming of what, I thought, okay, they'll put up Blaggards on the back, they'll turn some lights on, hit the on button on the smoke machine, hit record, that's it. And like you just said, it was just like everything was an artistic, a judgment call. Like, okay, I get this backdrop, this might work. I want to do this. This has motion in it. I want to move these lights. I want to play this song one time so I get a feel for it, and I'll know what to do the second time you play it. I mean, that kind of conscientious stuff was so welcoming and just so generous.
Yeah. And also, they wanted to know if there's hits in the song, because they're going to try to coordinate the lights and just
a couple times they did.
Yeah, they did. I know.
I could tell. Oh, the lights just changed. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So they were on top of it, man.
So we got some serious. We're in debt.
Yeah.
We're debt to those guys. That was fun. That was beyond expectations.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, I kind of wish that we had let them run sound too, but of course we didn't know how long it was going to take to set up everything, and we had our in-ear monitors to think about. But I'm trying to think now: is there some way we could? I don't know if they can pass through the tracks to their system track by track anyway. But I was trying to think of some way we could still control our monitor mixes, but they could still run the whole mix somehow.
They were going to have, I forget what they call them, like those little hotspot, because they have these little hotspot monitors that work awesome.
Yeah.
They work great.
We've had those before.
They were going to put a couple in the front, like a couple of regular monitors in the front, and then for you and me, they were going to have like these little, whatever they call them, and we used them for that Karen Carpenter show, and they were fucking awesome.
Yeah. Was
they
that
worked really good
at Rockville?
Rockville,
right? Yeah, the first time we saw those, right? And we played right after. Should have been before. We played after Bill Kirchen the first time. I guess it's the only time we met him, right? Was that one time?
Yeah. We had the same booking agent at that time, but I told the story too of how you go on with a half stack Marshall, and this guy's got he's got an amplifier that's probably about as big as that. And this guy played his ass off.
God, it was so good.
Yeah. Bill Kirchen.
I did an interview. I played a Bill before, and I did an interview with him for NAMM. He's such a nice guy.
He is, man.
The nicest guy in rock and roll.
God damn, he can play like a motherfucker.
He is beyond. He makes Junior Brown look like a strummer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but just because Junior Brown goes through that same school of rock and country and blah, 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 on, and the bluegrass and everything. But that guy, and talk about a guy that just gives it to you straight. That guy is a
man. It'll be kind of interesting to see if we get him on the show.
Oh, he's doing this.
He would
so much fun to talk to.
Totally do it. Yeah. I'd call him.
Then the whole band. I was just remembering now that we met after he finished playing. We were talking with him for a while, and we got set up, and they all hung around. I remember the whole band was hanging around watching us for a good long while.
Yeah,
I remember me talking with the bass player, and he was real cool. And that was
Too Much Fun. The band name?
I don't remember.
Bill Kirchen and Too Much Fun was the group he was running around.
They were all older fellas.
Yeah. He
Could
had
have
a trio for a long time.
And not to get off that, but I do want to say too, we've spoken to some extremely wonderful people that we're going to have on the show coming up. I just want you to know that we have quite, depending on our schedules, we need to get a few of these in the can, as they say, because we've got some great people coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to We've talked to our friend Nicole. We've talked to John Redmond over, and he's a friend of mine from Ireland. And great fun with Mark yesterday. So we're going to wrap that up with Flint, his partner for Catch My Carbon. That was last week, and our friend Elvirus up in Maine.
Nice.
So we got a bunch of really cool people coming on here, and people that are just not just artists, but people that are just changing the world and are doing great things. So extremely exciting times, and full schedule. So we need to, SlapperCast needs to I don't know. Let's do a daily
podcast.
So yeah, we'll just move in together. We'll have a commune.
There we go.
So yeah, George Theatre and our guys over there, wonderful time. Thank you so much for that. And so what do we got here?
Well, we talked about
things we saved from our childhood.
This is like, and I don't save a lot. I didn't save a lot of stuff from my childhood. Like I just didn't. But I did save a lot of set lists and some programs and stuff like that, and stuff my family has saved for me and given me. But I do have two things that I thought were kind of interesting. One is the second set list from Greeley.
Whoa!
The first gig.
I was good. When you pulled that out, man, that looks terribly like
your handwriting.
Yeah,
I think this was the evening show.
Yeah,
and so I kind of went through and had some notes on this kind of stuff. Fiddle hits polka train rhythm. Whatever the fucking word
that's a good name. Album title. Fiddle hit polka train.
Stops and jig intro polka. 2 minute later. 2 minutes intro kicks. All the kind of random notes. So there's that. That was fun. I kept that one. And this one I actually had in my cymbal bag for a long, long time. I don't know why. I just kind of kept it there. I think this is from...
That's our notepad is old unused posters.
Yeah. I think this is from that time I sat in with you guys at the Irish
Biggins.
Stew cook-off.
Yeah.
The Rory Biggins.
Where it was raining the whole time.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's
Kerfuffy, Tom 16th jig, halftime hits, Tom's Prison Polka, Rover Fast Polka, Galway Easy Train, Lope, Trad, all my little notes on there. And I can tell that there is some water damage to this from the thing. But anyway, so I just, I keep a lot of set lists and stuff like that, especially from, I got a bunch of John Doe handwritten set lists in here somewhere.
Wow.
That he would he would handwrite his set lists, and then he would photocopy them and stuff like that. Or if he would just sit there and write out 5 set lists for everybody to have.
Yeah.
This Far, Handsome Devil, Burn House of Love, Highway 5, Twin Brother, Pressing on 4th of July, which is a big hit that he had. I Still Miss Someone, the cover, Lucky Penny, Drink of Water. Never Enough is a X song, I think. Can't remember half these songs. Golden State was his big. I mean, that was just a lot of fun.
That's great.
I can't remember where this is from. But I think this might have been that tour I did with him because they're all kind of similar, a little bit different. Got this thing from whatever Zest magazine was at the time, which has
they make a shampoo if I'm not mistaken.
Oldies on the cover of that one.
Oh, yeah.
With the Oldies tie written down
That's
there.
cool.
I don't know what I guess it's like
isn't that the supplement from the Austin paper?
It says Houston Chronicle, so I guess
the Chronicle.
Do they do Zest anymore? That was like their weekend.
I don't think so.
Special.
Okay, yeah.
Insert thing that they used to do. An entertainment insert.
This is from a live thing from New York City that Oldies band got.
Is that from
Time Out?
Time Out, yeah.
Yep.
I used to love them. Time Out.
Just random. What is this all about? I don't even know what that is, so we'll look at that later. Anyway, just random stuff. Some of the clippings. Best instrumental band, Macklemore Avenue, a band I play with in Austin, from Austin Chronicle. I forget what year that was. We beat out Eric Johnson, so that's kind of cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Eric who?
Exactly.
Eric C. Johnson? I don't think so.
Exactly. Anyway.
Eric C. Red.
And, I got a bunch of just random shit in here.
But anything from earlier?
Early?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do you have your first set list ever?
I don't think so. That's a long time ago. But like, I got a sticker template in here.
Is there anything that you could think of? What's that? Oh yeah,
Dangerous Kitchen, band I was in back in '92.
Cool.
Is there anything that don't say your Stratocaster? Is there anything that you don't have that you wish you'd kept?
You know, kind of thinking like, oh my god,
What's that?
weird picture that we did. I'm the guy over here. That's how kind of like quirky we were back in the day.
What year is that from?
93.
Yeah.
Weird. Like, you know, that weird.
You the guy standing up?
Yeah, I'm over here. Yeah, that's
cool.
me over there.
I'll zoom in on it later.
Glasses and the thing. I got my program from my senior recital in college.
Look at that.
Oh, cool.
But so the one thing here's a band I played with one time with me and some friends called Sloppy Bow Job. You know, like bow tie. Uh-huh. That was just a group of guys that were just wanted to play music, so we just talked ourselves into getting a gig, and we did. What is all this? Oh, this is a Randy Weeks set list. Anyway, you know, this is a set list from the Twang, the German guys I play with, the German country guys.
I remember you talking about them. Yeah.
So that's what they just ripped up a box. This is during.
I've done that 1,000 times.
This is during Mojo's Mayhem up in Austin during South by Southwest.
Yeah.
But look, they even like drew in like the guy was an artistic designer, like a graphic designer. So he even like drew in like a little like logo at the bottom of it.
It looks like your handwriting too. And
I know.
It's weird.
Kind of, sort of.
It's, you know, that's kind of shocking too when I see, you know, inserts, especially on LPs, and you see their handwritten set list. You're like, oh, maybe I'm copying them. Maybe I'm, you know.
Yeah, it's weird. I gotta wonder what that means.
I sort of wish I would have kept the first real drum set that I got.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I'm kind of like bummed out of. And it wasn't. I mean, my you know, because my parents got it for me.
Yeah,
and I got it for Christmas. You know, in '84. So it's kind of one of those things. You know, it's just look back. I was like, man, I wish I would have at least kept it.
I remember Nico talking about one of his kits that he had. I think Pat Travers didn't give him back, or they didn't. That they got rid of it, or they stole whatever. But he was very gracious in his tell. You know, is you know how Nico's one of those personalities too that he speaks in riddles and rhymes sometimes, and but it's just to gloss over saying something that he doesn't want to shine a light on somebody, or you know, it's really nice. But I want to do a podcast too where we talk about ex band members and just change all the names and the dates and stuff like that, and just say,
well, I don't know, the dirty laundry episode.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the most viewed episode we ever put out.
Yeah. We'll call it grinding.
So anybody who knows us, there's very few people in our inner circle who know the dirt, you know, from member to member. And most other people, we just always are very demure about revealing any details about things. You know, it's the creative differences or the personal differences excuse that usually comes out.
Yeah.
You have to catch us in the right mood. So you might want to tune in to whatever episode number that is. I don't know. We'll see.
103.1.
Yeah. 666.
So what, so Chad, is there anything from your youth that you wish you would have kept?
I haven't owned a whole lot of musical instruments, and most of them I still have. One of
them
doesn't
have to be instruments. I mean,
Is there, I was just sifting through my mind. It was the first thing I was thinking of. I gave away my very first guitar. I gave to my friend Andy, the other guitarist in the Change, because he had lost his. He was a classical guitar player. He was classically trained, and something had happened to his guitar, and he asked me if I could borrow, because I had my old classical. My first guitar was classical, even though I never trained classical, but that's what my mom bought me. So that's the first one I had. And by this point, I had a steel string acoustic, the one that you got fixed up.
Yeah,
that Neil Sargent fixed up a couple of years ago, and I had no interest in the classical one. So you take it, you know. Even though it had sentimental value for me, but it meant more to me that it actually be used. So I gave it to him. Of course, I hope he still has that. I don't know. That was like 30 years ago I gave it to him. So, other than that, there are videotapes I wish I knew where the fuck they were.
Videotapes of?
No, not those kind of tapes.
Well, I didn't say a word.
It was like a reflex. Ooh.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word.
That sounds guilty
I
to me.
didn't say a word.
That sounds like Pornhub Smalley.
Well, there was a bunch of tapes that, maybe not a bunch, but there was a couple of VHS tapes that from when my dad bought me for my birthday one year, a portable VHS deck and a video. I still have the video camera. It's up in my closets. I'm sure it probably doesn't even work anymore. It's this huge, broadcast size camera that these, this is 1985 or something. He gave it to me. But we went on a road trip that year and to videotape. So I got all these videotapes that we took on our road trip out to West Texas.
Yeah.
No idea where it is now. That's one of those tapes that just kind of disappeared over the years. Those things, I think about it, kind of makes me sad. I don't know where they are. I just didn't keep very good track of it from moving around, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Probably wound up in one of my neighbors or one of my roommates' boxes and thrown out or taped or recorded over or something, God knows what.
Yeah, I think about I have too many guitars now, and I'll always, I always think of the first one I bought. It was an Audition. The first one that I paid for was an Audition electric guitar. It's kind of one of those Fender Jaguar style guitars that had buttons on it that I didn't know what they did. But it just really, really low action, played really well. And first thing, is all right, that works. I'll take that. And but I don't ever want. Don't want to see it. Don't want to. Have nothing to do. If somebody showed up at my doorstep, well, I wouldn't take it. It's kind of. So as far as musical instruments don't, there's nothing there. And as far as the gear, even the stuff that was stolen, have it. I don't get, the guitars that I have right now, none of them are, really expensive or sought after guitars, but they work for me, they do the job, and I don't, I do, like, I have way too many, and I got to figure out, I always think I don't want to sell them, but I want them to be in a school, school where kids learn to,
So they're not sitting in somebody's closet or something.
Yeah. So, because like I said, they're guitars that work. They're guitars that visually don't look like everything else that you see every day. Black and white Strat or a,
right.
Just visually they have to be something a little different to it. But like the Jackson I bought, I was like, God, it just looks silly, but it plays great and it's bright and it's it's fast and it's so. But yeah, so I mean, going back, as far as the going through my whole music thing, there's nothing that I want from back then. I some of the set lists maybe but I remember we were talking to Ricky O'Neill, who we need to post that clip from the Vikings. I put it on my page. But,
I was trying to find a good clip. I couldn't when I was doing the show notes. I couldn't find.
Yeah, he just got it. Okay. So I'll send it to you. Or it's we're talking to Ricky, and I had opened for the Saw Doctors, my first or second or third or fourth band,
right?
And we opened for them, and the connection was so bad we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but. It's far enough gone, and the guy in question is not in the band anymore. So, but the story, so it was at the Engine Room downtown, and a friend of mine had got me the gig. He said, "Hey, we got an Irish band coming in. Why don't you come up, and open?" I said, "I'd love to." And we went down there, and I had a drummer who I gave a cassette tape to. I said, "Hey, just learn these songs. We're going to do a 45-minute opener." And he didn't learn any of the fucking songs, and I can't remember
drummers, man.
Yeah, I can't remember who, what, where, or how. I don't recall but I do recall being on the stage and guys having no fucking idea of the songs and just kind of, and it's just just one of those times that you just want the fucking and they gave us the curtain drop, they gave us the dry ice, they gave us the, usually when you're an opening band you don't get that.
Right.
The headliners refuse to give any kind of I remember Alice in Chains as well. I saw them on their big single Man in the Box, and they just come out, and motherfuckers, they were on that one of those Monster of Rock things, and they were the opening band, and they kept the fucking house lights on, and the sound was there. So you're watching this guy in your living room, essentially. These guys play this, and they were throwing down. That was a good band. That was a good band. That bass player was on point. The drummer and he was just rhythm section. Anyway, I say that because these guys went above and beyond what we deserved. They gave us everything, and the sound was good and everything. We were shit. But the beginning of the show, rewind to the beginning of the show, and I'd come into I'd walked into a conversation where a friend of mine who had got us the show there, the opening slot, he and the person from the Saw Doctors, who's no longer with them, they were talking about something, and all I heard was, it's over, it's down the road, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to, I kind of jumped in with, hey, I'll give you a lift, Irishman in Houston, and my friend who had got us the show, you're not going, he took me aside after he said, you're not going anywhere. I was like, oh, all right. I guess we're going on earlier or something. And it turned out that he was going to buy some Coke.
Oh,
yeah.
And I had a brand new son at the time. So that's 23 years ago. And he said, no. So anyway, saved quite a, what could have been a hellacious.
Yes. An ordeal, if you will.
Yeah. So anyway, we because of the crappy connection, because of the crappy Galway Wi-Fi, we couldn't get to that story, but that was one of the things, just the night that could have really, it was already shit, from the performance that we were put on, but that could have been really
Who was playing bass with you then? Do you remember?
I don't know.
He didn't want to dish the dirt. That's the other.
No. I don't know.
I'm totally joking.
Yeah. This is back in the day of the cassette. When that's kind of easy to learn the songs. They were probably in order as we're going to play them, so you could even just write 4/4, or just learn it, just listen to it.
This is back in the days too. You've said early on it was really difficult to get guys to take you seriously because they didn't really believe that you could get gigs or whatever. I don't know, they didn't believe the money was going to be that good, or Irish, whatever, and they would blow you off and not really.
Yeah. That was the
until they experienced it. And they're like, oh well, right now, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. The other show that comes to mind, again, there were none of the same players, but one of those shows I remember, one of the guys from Rock and Robin here in beautiful Houston, Texas. We've talked about Rock and Robin many times, legendary music shop. But that's where you would put up your wanted ads. And I remember this one guy, he had teaching bass lessons out of the shop, and he was what do you call it? He was teaching lessons out of the shop, and he had talked himself into the gig. We were doing a weekly thing down in Sláinte, downtown, which is now Molly's. 509 Main, if you will.
Yep.
And so he comes to the show, and he brings this huge rig. And the nice thing about Bart, the owner of Rock and Robin, he would let them use, pretty much anything in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings this huge thing down. He's got this homemade pedal board, but it's essentially a plywood thing with all these pedals on it and stuff, and because I couldn't get players to commit or to even learn the shit, to listen to it, to blah, blah, blah. So you kind of you take who you can get. Paul Beebe actually played bass quite a few times for me, and was nice too because it was a guy that knew bass and knew, oh, okay, this song's structured like this, I'm going to play it like that, and it was whoa, But this guy was a pretty good bass player, but one of those guys that had the level 42 marking, bass up here. Just all the way up, and jeans pulled all the way up to your tits. So, all right, however you're comfortable, Mr. Posture. But so we were playing the gig, and he's overplaying, and he's he's a nice enough guy, but he was one of those guys that really set in his ways. Come in, bark orders to the staff. I want a burger, and I want it ready for the first night. Shut the fuck up. So another bass player, a friend of mine, was coming in, and he was going to be playing with us in another week. So he had at least taken the time to come out and see what the band was doing. And he had come out, and I'd asked this bass player, I said, "Can this guy sit in with us and use your rig?"
Oh yeah.
And okay. And I think he brought his own bass. He did bring his bass, but can we just plug into your rig? Well, so this guy dismantles his pedal board, and say, yeah, you can use it. And so obviously, just like in the Alice in Chains thing, just completely fucked the whole rig.
Didn't he mess up with the tone of the EQ on the amp?
I mean, just everything, just completely dismantled it. Yeah, just he didn't want anybody else.
Just take a line out from the main speaker and just plug in.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
Can't use the pedal board.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nope. So that's why I mentioned the Alice in Chains thing too. These guys they've written a good song. They had more, but the headliners, whoever I think it was, I want to say it was Megadeth and bunch of these bands, but it was at the Summit, so it tells you how old, how long ago that was. But still, to deliberately fuck over the opening bands, which still goes on today, which is just if you're that self-conscious, don't have an opening act, or if you have to have an opening act, get somebody, that's completely different too. Yeah. But these guys come on and they're so small, everything is so small, except for their egos, that they can't give any leeway to these, or just, give these guys a lift, That's why I always admire bands like Maiden that just took that went and sought these bands out and gave them the, which, and the other thing is too, is there was and it was a few years back, and I forget who it was, but we were talking to somebody about, how do you get on this tour and whatnot. And they were saying, it was actually my friends over at Diamond Guitars. And they were saying, you're not getting on that tour. They're charging the opening bands, and they're taking a cut of them. I mean, it's it was just, so everything that was, and that's, again, that's the birth of Spotify and all these, all these, percentage, these obscured, numbers, they're just, or disproportionate numbers, to the artist versus the, these multi-billionaires, to, people are not getting what they're supposed to. So everybody's out there cutting everybody else's throat to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just made me think of talking about the amp thing with the bass player deliberately messing up his tone for the guy who's borrowing his rig to play with you, sit in with you. All the times that we've had that I've allowed somebody to use my amp for whatever reason, where we're sharing the stage with somebody else, like the toy drive, for example, or I can't think of any of it. It's happened a bunch of times, and a bunch of times I'm remembering specifically when I had my Heart Key rig, which had the this whatever it is, 16 band graphic EQ in the middle, and I always tell the guys, because I knew what my
shape.
Yeah, I did the mid scoop, and it took me 5 seconds to fix it if somebody flattened it out or something. I always told them, just do whatever you want. DQ, do what you got. It is. Yeah, I can put it back. Don't worry about it. And none of them ever touched it. They just then that's. And I'm just not saying. I wish they had taken advantage of my hospitality with DQ. Yeah. But that is that's a real pro.
That is pro. Yeah.
You work with what you got, and in that kind of situation, where it's kind of off the cuff.
Yeah.
So for a non-musician, what we're talking about is some people are over the top with their gear. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't breathe on it. and they really are. They're funny about it. It's a and musicians and their instruments and then their amps and their setup and whatnot are sacred to them, and they're not going to allow anybody onto. So it really is it's a big deal it's a bigger deal for some musicians to let other people use their stuff is all we're saying. Is there's so much. I don't know. Is it sacred? Is it what is it?
I mean, I think it's I don't know. I think people are particular about how things like with drums. It's like the angle of this, the angle of that, and of course I'm left-handed, so my drum just set up opposite from the way most drummers set up. And if someone wants to come sit in, I go, yeah, are you left-handed? They're like, oh, no. I go, well, I guess you can switch some stuff around, but maybe just switch the floor tom and the snare drum and the hi-hat. But, I mean, time is wasting here, and it takes time to do that. So, and there's been 2 gigs that I played on where we were the opening band. One was with Mike Stinson, and we opened up for Joe Ely. And one was with Trish Cramble that we opened up for some guy that was playing somewhere. And Davis McClarty, great drummer, booking agent up in Austin, works for Atomic. He was playing drums with Joe Ely, and he's like, I'm not, we can use your stuff. He's like, absolutely, whatever you want to do. And I get behind the drum set, and it's one of those deals where the rack tom was mounted to a cymbal stand. The floor tom was mounted to a cymbal stand. And I was like, this is not going to work, because I'm not going to take all this time to move all this shit, and it's just weird. So I straddled the floor tom and just closed the hi-hat and played open-handed and put my foot, and it was fine. Mike didn't even notice anything until he turned around like halfway through the set, and he was like, oh, I'm like, I'm not moving it. It's too fucking much work. The Trish Crown thing was the same way. My very first gig playing with Trish, and we get to the venue, and the guy's like, you can use my drums. Yeah, move anything you want to move around. And he's got one of these drum sets where it's like everything is like, the snare drum had like a bunch of weird shit on it, like little springs and stuff like that for sound effects. And the cowbell was like, fused to the bass drum and this tom. And I was just like, this is too much fucking work for this. I'm not switching this shit around. Did the same exact thing. Just straddled the floor tom, played open-handed, and it was totally fine. And the drummer couldn't believe it. He's like, how are you playing that drum set like that? I go, just, you adapt.
Yeah.
At least I adapt, I'm not moving all that shit. That's too much work.
But too much work too, but you also don't want to mess up although they know how to, you don't want to take their, because I remember we played a few shows with Mike too, and the drummers came in and moved everything around to where it was
I don't agree with that at all. Like if you're kind enough to say something like, hey, I know what my setup is like, go ahead and fix it, But the drummers that come in and want to adjust every little thing, I'm like, dude, you're playing like 2 songs. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they did.
I don't like that.
They did, and it was a whole new setup. Again, you talk about posture, and you talk about you're now off your
right.
Everything is discombobulated. Everything is
I'm just just sit down.
I mean, I know you wouldn't do that. I marvel at the gall or somebody to move cymbals and to adjust
everything stays where it is.
Yeah.
I've told people, I said, you can play it. I said, I don't really want to think. I don't want you to like switch things around because it takes so much time, and it's just like we're on a clock here. But one guy said, oh, I can totally play left-handed, and he sat down. And he totally fucking sucked. Oh, it's
I didn't say well.
Buckley's kid's drum teacher.
Yeah.
That guy. He just sat down and he played, and like all the energy in the room just went like a balloon flying away.
Yeah.
And he only played 2 songs. It was fine, but I was just like,
well, we did that show too, where we let a band come in and move stuff around and add stuff, and they bring chimes in. They bring chimes. There's no fucking song that needs chimes.
Nope.
I mean, I've heard John Denver. I've heard, you just nothing needs brought chimes in and then moved gear around and then proceeded to run the fucking crowd out. I mean, it takes
I've had
a
that happen
special.
before. Yeah, one time I hate that. Yeah, that's just like this is not what we had planned.
No,
You know?
no, and it again, we're giving you these. There is all sorts of niceties, and there's all sorts of pleasantries, and gracious and blah blah on and on and on to come in and do this and and we got permission from the club. And it wasn't bring you. It was okay if you. So we're doing you a favor, and then
It's that benefit of the doubt kind of thing, and it's like, oh, foot, gun, shoot.
Yeah.
Might be the title.
Yeah.
Foot, gun, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my God, what a murderous.
Well, and to maybe put a cherry on the top of this Sunday, it's also just like it speaks to that person's level of professionalism. If they want to come in and move everything around and do this and kind of force their way up to, I got to play. If you're invited up is one thing.
Yeah.
Being invited up is, from living and playing in Austin a bunch, especially doing the country stuff, guys are always sitting in. And it's fun because, hey, so-and-so is here. Let's get him to come up and play sing a song. Great. Let's get him to come up and he wants to come up and sing. Let's get him or her up to sing a song. That's fun because now you're invited. And those guys know that they walk up, put the guitar on, play, sing. Even if the guitar is way up here.
Yeah.
Which they're not used to or whatever. They just put it on and they just fucking roll with it.
Yeah.
But the folks that come up and want to adjust everything.
Or
part-time
can I sit in?
No.
Yeah.
But you.
Yeah. No. We've had that 1,000 times and we've had to nix it. I used to, our friend Kent, who we'll have on here sometime as well, their policy was nobody sits in. And for good reason, because we've had the bandolero man with every harmonica, and back in the day when we didn't have enough material to finish the night, come on up here with it. No, don't. Trust me, a longer break is better than a permanent break,
Well put, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then always beware of the, hey man, I'm the best bass player around. You want me to sit in? Not now.
If you're so fucking good, where's your gig tonight?
Yeah.
That's always my response.
Yeah.
Oh God.
When they talk and talk and talk, I go, well, you're telling me all this. Why aren't you playing tonight?
Yeah.
It's Friday, Saturday. You should be playing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me. Oh, I have to go play.
Yeah.
Fucking people, man. Part-time pros.
Yes.
Yeah, I've already told a couple stories about that on the show. I'm not going to repeat them.
Yeah, we asked Patrick Brennan to sit in with us the other day.
Yes, we did.
That was fun.
It was.
Patreon.
You'll get to hear that very soon.
Oh, yeah. It actually worked out well.
I don't have the video for it yet, but
I'm not saying I was nervous.
Oh yeah, I'd never heard him play sax before. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've known Patrick for years.
Yeah.
You've known him obviously much longer than I have, but he's come to see Blaggards many, many times, especially on nights where he has a gig near wherever we're playing. He'll get off. He'll come and watch the end of our show.
Cool.
And he's just always really cool. But I'd never actually heard him play until he came in and did the tracks on the album. He plays on several tracks on the album. That was the first time I actually heard him play keys. And then Saturday, or was it last weekend at the George Theater? That was the first time I heard him play sax. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah,
so
he's
good.
he's not a technical player. He's a feel player.
Yeah,
and we're a feel.
I loved how you'll get to hear this on it. I may put up a couple of takes of this too because I think it was the second. I think we did it 3 times. The song we played with him.
Yeah, I think so.
And he started getting more jazzy. Like he would go off in these weird, not weird, but like kind of adventurous intervals and stuff that don't normally hear people play in rock.
Yeah.
You
could tell he was getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah. It was like some of the stuff he did was like, oh yeah. It was so fucking cool. But anyway, you'll get to hear it.
Yeah.
Again.
But I was cool too I was boasting about your ability to put into numbers because I concentrate on
during the solo.
yeah. So it was I was like, how, and you're like, you got, so that was, it was just nice. Yeah, it was nice to be able to have that, map. I got,
But I think a lot of this myth that people think that they can just, any musician can just insert themselves into any band, because they see stuff like that happen and they don't know the whole story behind, well, we know this guy or we know what he can do.
Yeah, exactly.
That type of thing. And sometimes it's different. Like you have an open mic, like a jazz blues jam thing, and you see these guys walking off the street, go, huh? Yeah, get up here. Those guys probably know each other,
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just inserting yourself. If you ever actually have done that and invited yourself on stage with somebody who doesn't know you,
or not even invited themselves, just got on stage,
right? Yeah.
But I went to that one time in that one place with that one fucking band, and we're doing a song that we're doing, and they, by one person, were nudged onto the stage, a small stage, and proceeded to do backing vocals for this one song, not knowing or caring or listening or even thinking that this song is going to take a turn, which all our songs take turns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we get to that turn and they just completely blow through it. So now we got more voices than we have, because they got their crew on our stage in our song in that, and then the song takes the turn and they just keep going straight, and now the song is, oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never asked to be, hey, can I sit in? Never asked.
No.
Me neither.
And nor will I. And
then,
then on top of that, to go in and to butcher somebody else's stage on a packed night is just like, Mike, did you not just have your time?
I even refuse to, like, when I am asked, like Bob Reeder has asked me almost every time I go, because when we have a break between sets, when we play at O'Malley's in Weston, Bob's playing upstairs in the smaller pub and stuff, and I'll sneak up there to watch a couple of songs, and he'll see me. He said, "Chad, get up here!" I'm like, no. I'm not here to fuck anything up. I just want to watch you, please.
Yeah, he's. I mean. But Bob's thing is as well to have people come up. That's his shtick.
Yeah,
and we're also very, very happy to report that he is on the mend. He had COVID and was in the ER for weeks. Yeah, and he still got the oxygen. He's still at home with the but still he went through a spell, and we're happy to report that he is. Yeah, he's strengthening every day, and he's mending, and he's but his shtick and his gig is second to none. I mean, we tell people all the time, Bob Reeder's the Mike has the Bob Reeder T-shirt. That's a gift. That guy is beyond talented, and the lyrics that he recalls and the jokes that he tells during the songs and whatnot. I mean, he'll do a serious song, but then his shtick is to bring people up and to have them sing with them, and it's great. Yeah, it's a wonderful. That's a pub. That's right. That's a true. Right. Yeah, and that's, but we have a beginning and an end, and our middle bit might sound squishy, but it's we know where it's going.
Yeah.
We did a quick story, and maybe wrap this up. Speaking of people sitting in, we were playing with Archie Bell, me and Alan Hill and Pete Gordon and Jim Henkel up in Austin at the Continental for must have been one of those soul night things that we used to do a bunch with a couple of different acts. And the saxophone player named I don't care. I'm going to name him. I don't care. Lives up there, and he's not a great sax player, but he still gets the call to play with a lot of people. He's good, but he's not like inspiring or like even some of the solos that Patrick was playing the other day, not even quite that like, oh, that's cool, to get your attention. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what the deal was. I think he had either played with the band, but I would have been playing. But anyway, so Tom was in the room, basically. Yeah. Austin Continental, not a huge venue, fucking packed to the gills, okay? And we're playing Archie's set, and Archie does his original stuff, but he also does some cover stuff, and we broke into Mustang Sally, which is a big, Archie loves that song, and we played that song every single time we play with Archie. And it's actually fun to play. When you're playing with someone like that, it's actually a fun song to play.
Of course.
If we were playing it in a bar somewhere,
Cut that out.
and somebody said, "Hey, Blaggards, you play Mustang Sally?" We'd say, "No, absolutely not. Go fuck yourself."
Right.
Maybe not, but with Archie, it's fun because obviously he's from that era. He knows those guys.
Of course, yeah.
So we're playing, and we start the song, and for some reason, I'm here in the back, kind of a little bit off center. Pete's on this side against the wall, and the other guys are on the other side, the open side. And I look up, and he's tall like you. He's like 6 foot, whatever. Here comes running through the crowd. You can see him kind of bobbing and weaving through the crowd. And his saxophone was at the front of the stage, kind of like tucked in the corner over by Pete. And he reaches down to grab his saxophone, and me and Pete at the same time, no! We both stick. I think I told this story before. Yeah. We both stick our hands. He sticks his left hand up because he's playing right there. Tom's right there. And I just switch over to the hi-hat with my other hand. I'm playing one-handed, and I got the stick in my hand. And we're both like, we both yell, no! Like, you're not, no, this is not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And he was just like, and he had the reed in his mouth to get it wet, because that's what sax players do. They put the reed, and he was just like, we put it back down and kind of slunk away. But goddamn, I was just like, you could see him, and his intention was, I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to blow the greatest solo over Mustang Sally ever with Archie Bell, and I can tell my grandkids about it. And me and Pete were like, no.
Guess you better. No. Mustang down. That's the never-ending thing. I remember 100 people trying to get on stage, and the best is when they're offended.
Yeah.
Their best is when when you guys are terrible. Why would you not want to be good for a minute with me? It's never, so
just,
again, these are the moments that we need to put down. We need to rearrange names and times and whatnot, and lineups and whatever. But I mean, just and put that out there. The X-rated, R-rated, blah blah blah. That I'd love to do that because it would just be fun to have it up. But the other thing is too, moving to close this thing, is Blaggards, every single lineup, which even if it's just replacing a fiddle player, we change every single time. We never carry the same set. You know what I mean? We're never going to bring them in because you came in and you had a whole different approach to drumming than Mike. So we changed the stuff again to do that. Mike came out and he saw it and he's like, oh, that's cool. Knowing that, when Mike came out to see us in Katy, he knew immediately what we were doing, and he knew, he sees, but because Mike's got such a great mind for, and he's like us, he has that rock and roll soul, So he said, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't want to come in and say, well, this is what they used to do. Now you do that.
Right.
I said, no, we need to put our stamp on it. That's why you call it moving forward and you call it playing versus, we go to work from, 8 till 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Exactamundo.
So I'm looking forward to it. We got some good stuff coming up. We're going to talk Paddy's Day in the next show. We're going to have some great guests coming up. I don't know who's next week is, but we'll have some. Yeah. We'll have some. And also, I mentioned Nicole, and I mentioned. I also want to mention Eamon Finnerty. I want to get him on. Eamon owns all the Molly's pubs, but I want to talk to Pete Gordon.
Pete will do
That's
it.
going to be great. I want to talk to him, but I want to talk to Michael Coakley as well from Weston. And don't play him off. Have Michael
Remember the playoff?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So we.
In theory, it was awesome. In theory, it was like a cool thing to do, but we just couldn't figure it out. So
I thought it worked.
I thought it worked
great.
No,
I want to get Michael on here because we're just the landscape, the future, everything looks like, although we're still in the thick of it, we now, it looks like we have a path.
Yeah.
So, So we got a bunch of people we're going to have on here, and it's going to be incredible. If you have any ideas, if you want to come on talk to us, you're more than welcome. We've kind of streamlined it now. This has been fun today because we haven't seen each other in quite a while, so this has been fun. But we have streamlined our the SlapperCast map.
The approach.
So
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Cool.
Gonna be good moving forward.
Yes,
And we, like as always, we certainly appreciate you listening and watching and telling your friends and sharing it. And we do have we possibly in the next week. There's going to be maybe a gig coming up. We're talking to 30th of this month, January. There may be a show, outdoors, fun, and some new stuff. So stay in touch and SlapperCast 103
in the can.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, y'all. See you next week.
Much fun.
Thank you.
Cheers.